Previously, tensions rose between Alisa and Kuze as Alisa tested him in various ways, from teasing him to put her sock on to speaking Russian under her breath. Unbeknownst to Alisa, Kuze understands Russian and keeps this secret to gauge her true feelings. If you missed the drama in part 1, check it out in the link below. Now, let's see how Kuze handles this unpredictable situation. Suo calls on to Kuze and asks him to help her out, to clear the council room. He reluctantly agrees, as his lazy ass is not used to working out, but he meets up with her regardless, and they start chatting when suddenly, Alisa appears from behind some boxes, looking a bit pissed to see the closeness between Suo and Kuze. He realizes that Suo definitely set this whole thing up to mess with him, as she knows Alisa likes him. They start cleaning everything, and Suo keeps chatting with him while Alisa seemingly gets even more pissed and tells Kuze to pay more attention to work. Suo realizes that this is the perfect time, so she excuses herself and moves out when suddenly Kuze hears Alisa mumble in Russian that even she wants some attention. She keeps telling him to come near her in Russian, smugly thinking that she is literally throwing herself at him, while he has no idea. Meanwhile, Kuze is wondering what a thirsty thought to talk so openly. Thankfully for him, the remaining work gets sorted out pretty quickly, and finally, he was about to take his leave, when suddenly the door opens, and a tall senior enters the room, surprised to see it all so clean already. Suo tells him that Kuze helped them, so he thanks Kuze and introduces himself as Kenzaki, the president of the student council. He tells Kuze that he has heard a lot about him from both Alisa and Suo, but Kuze starts feeling uncomfortable and decides to leave. Kenzaki stops him, claiming that he helped them after school, so he will buy him dinner tonight. Kuze politely refuses the offer, claiming that he was just helping some friends. Before he can leave, though, Suo jumps into the conversation and tells him that he should accept the gift as he will have to cook for himself at home anyway. Kenzaki ends up making the decision for them and also invites both Suo and Alisa to join them for dinner. Later that evening, they all go down to a diner and sit down, while Kenzaki again thanks Kuze for helping them with the council work. Suo tells him that Kuze is pretty good at physical work as he gets it done pretty quickly. Moreover, he is an expert negotiator as well. Kenzaki immediately recognizes his talent and offers him a position in the student council. Kuze again politely refuses, claiming that he is done with student council work forever, as he didn't really enjoy it during middle school. Kenzaki agrees that it is definitely a lot of work, but tells him that it has its own benefits as well. He tells Kuze that being on a student council means that he has an automatic recommendation to join the best colleges in the country. But even after this, Kuze shows no interest, as he simply wants to watch anime and enjoy life. Unfortunately for him, Suo won't stop writing him and tells him that they can run for the next council president once again, just like they did in middle school. Kuze refuses this time more firmly, while Kenzaki tells him that Suo is going to have tough competition, as Alisa is also going to run for the council president. Kuze had no idea about it, and he looks at her for confirmation. Alisa tells him that she is indeed going to run against Suo next year during the elections, but before they can talk any further, their food arrives. After dinner, they all part ways as Kenzaki heads in the other direction, alongside Suo, leaving Kuze to drop Alisa back home. On the way back, Kuze asks Alisa whether she is actually going to run against Suo, but she doesn't seem to be very eager to talk about it and tells him that she will go on her own from here. Kuze bids her goodbye and heads back home, only to find Suo sprawled on the couch reading a romantic novel. It turns out that Suo is actually Kuze's real sister, but because she wants to be his wingman, she is pretending to be his love interest to make Alisa jealous and want him more. He tells her that he doesn't need her help and heads back to sleep. The next morning, he gets woken up by his annoying sister once again, who jumps on top of his bed and tells him to get up even though it's a Sunday. This annoying brat then drags Kuze all the way to a mall to have some good breakfast, but she starts forcing him to watch a movie with her. He refuses, and they head out to a nearby clothing store, where he notices that Suo's behavior has changed, and he asks her what's up with that. She tells him that she noticed Alisa tailing them, so she is going to stop behaving like his sister. He wonders what he should do right now, but before he can even say anything, Suo ends up moving towards Alisa and greets her warmly. Alisa gets pretty embarrassed, but pretends that she just came here to shop for some clothes, and they met by coincidence. The bratty sis asks Alisa whether she has had lunch yet, as they were just going to a restaurant, and invites Alisa to join them. She then asks whether Alisa likes spicy food, but poor Alisa has only had mildly spicy curry, and claims that she is fine with spices. Suo tells her that they are going to a ramen place that serves pretty spicy food, and invites her to join. Kuze decides to come clean, and tells Alisa that the ramen is not just normal spicy. In fact, this restaurant makes ramen insanely spicy enough to make lava come out of anyone's ass. Alisa feels like Kuze is trying to push her away to be alone with Suo, so she decides to join them regardless. Soon, they head out to the ramen place, which scares the daylight out of Alisa, who has never seen such a demonic-looking restaurant before. Kuze tells Alisa that she is making a mistake, but Alisa is determined and goes in with them. Soon, they order a bowl of ramen each, while Alisa notices that Suo is wearing quite boyish clothes today. Suo decides to use this as an advantage and tells Alisa that this morning she was in bed with Kuze, so she decided to borrow one of his shirts for the day. Kuze ends up spitting out the water he was drinking while Alisa looks at him darkly. He tries to explain himself, claiming that she just ended up jumping on his bed while he was sleeping, but Alisa doesn't buy it even for a second. Thankfully, the ramen bowl arrives just in the nick of time, which shocks Alisa completely as she has never seen something as red and hot as this bowl. Suo and Kuze seem pretty fine with it, as Suo tells them all to dig in before the noodles get soggy. Alisa decides that she can't be left behind, so she immediately takes out the chopsticks and cools the noodles down a little bit before gulping them down. Immediately the spice hits her, but she pretends to be completely fine. Kuze and Suo also start eating and don't find the spice too much as they are used to it, but Kuze ends up hearing Alisa mumbling in Russian about how insanely hot it is, and he gets worried, so he asks her not to eat it as they can get something else for her. Alisa tells him that she likes the heat a lot, while Kuze can literally see her tearing up and asking for help in Russian. Before he can say anything again, Suo asks Alisa what she thinks of this dish, and when Alisa says that she likes it, Suo messes with her even more and gives her hot sauce to add to her ramen to make it taste even hotter. Kuze tells Alisa not to do it, but she is not going to lose this battle, so she puts a small amount of sauce in her noodles and tries it once again. This time, she ends up screaming loudly, unable to control herself, and runs out of the restaurant. Kuze follows her and finds her alone in a park and asks whether she's okay. Alisa replies that she is fine, but Kuze asks her whether she wants some ice cream, and she immediately agrees. He gets her a triple scoop, which she likes much more than the hellish ramen, but while she is eating, Kuze again asks her why she wants to become the council president. This makes her mood sour quickly, as she tells him that she just wants to try. He asks whether she has a partner, but she replies that she doesn't, claiming that she has no need for a partner and can do it all herself. He tells her that it doesn't work that way, as she needs to have someone to run for vice president with her. She replies that she will find a random person and put their name down in the register, and it should be fine. But under her breath, she mumbles in Russian that she wants him to be her partner. She finishes her ice cream and asks Kuze whether he has any plans, as she wants him to help her shop for some clothes. Kuze agrees to help her, claiming that they are friends, which surprises her a little as she wonders whether he is feeling pity for her because he thinks she doesn't stand a chance against Suo. She angrily walks into the changing room, determined to blow his mind with her fashion sense, but gets cold feet thinking, what if he doesn't react at all? She still comes out of the room, and to her surprise, the moment Kuze sees her, he immediately compliments her, saying that the dress makes her look even prettier than she normally is. This blows her mind as she silently closes the curtains and starts panicking, while on the other side even Kuze starts feeling embarrassed about the cringy lines he just spoke. Alisa decides to keep it going, so she starts changing into different dresses one by one, giving a full-on fashion show to Kuze, who compliments each and every dress she wears, which makes her feel even better. She finally decides to try something a little more revealing, and opens the curtains to pose, only to see that Suo has also arrived. She quietly backs up and shuts the curtains before feeling embarrassed and wanting to crawl into a hole. Later that evening, they head back together on the train, but Alisa is still too fried to talk. Finally, Suo and Kuze's station comes, so they bid her goodbye and get off the train. Alisa starts cussing herself for wearing something so skimpy, as now Kuze will think she is a skank, when suddenly she realizes that both of them got off at the same station as she decides whether to spy on them or not. There you have it, dear viewers. We've reached the end of today's episode. If you're excited for the next part, hit the like button and share the video everywhere, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel in appreciation of my efforts.